That's a lot of people. But then apparently Bonnie's on top of all of that, so it's fine.
What's up, everybody? It's the Grand Line Gazette, where we talk about One Piece damn near every damn day, and we got a new episode review for you. Episode 1125. It's got a title. It's basically the Kizaru versus Sentomaru episode. We got some more stuff
Hmm.
going on.
Hmm.
Obviously, we already read this in the manga, and we did a review on that. So if that's your kind
Yep.
of thing, follow those manga reviews. But we're gonna lightly touch on the episode, some stuff that stuck out, the animation as a whole. um, Once these things get on screen, it translates differently. So we're gonna talk about it a little bit. That's Kev. I'm Corey. We talk about One Piece a lot, and as always, here, Kev, set the scene for the episode. What kind of episode is this?
Yeah, I mean, we're now getting the Navy units are now getting to Elbaf. So we're or not Elbaf, Egghead, sorry. We're in Elbaf in the manga. It really has me. Uh so the units are now engaging on Egghead. And so you're seeing a couple fights break out in this episode. Kizaru versus Sentomaru is the first one. And now we know from the manga that they have a pretty heavy past. This is brothers, two brothers, I guess, fighting in a way, uncle nephew style. Um, and it's tough. It's tough once we find out the emotional ties. But Sentomaru can't be undermined here because his defense seems to be keeping up with somebody I would put in the upper echelon, that is Kizaru, and like his light powers here. I love seeing his light powers on screen. It's always nice to see.
Definitely. And as a whole, like, yeah, the opening of this is pretty much the battle between starting. I would say starting off. It's like the midpoint of the battle between Kizaru and Sentomaru, and
Hmm.
um, you're setting the stage. Kizaru does the first attack that Sentomaru blocks, and it's kind of crazy. Sentomaru claims that he has the strongest hockey like defense, and he's trying to do his thing. He is tanking some of these attacks. Now there are some of them that he can't, like his like whatever mirror, the background of this video where he shoots all the beams and stuff like that. Like obviously, like if you shoot like 1,000 beams at me, like I'm gonna have to dodge them. But like one
Yeah,
on one,
yeah,
like giving hands, like Sentomaru is taking some of those attacks, which is interesting. In the pre-show, you talked about how Sentomaru isn't turning his arms or legs black with hockey,
yeah.
and I guess now we're under the assumption that's Rio that he's using.
Maybe, possibly. You were talking about that it being like hockey blasts that he's kind of putting out
Yeah, he's
or
pushing
something
out
like that.
like air palms, like pop, pop, pop.
Yeah. So I mean that's pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. I just like to see it a little bit more. Like the I want to see the ultimate defense. Like we saw in Wano, we saw we we had Jinbei go all black fish, and I want to see something like that with Sentomaru. I think he would look really cool. I think
Yeah,
that would really go
we would
towards,
also have to put him in
you
that
know,
situation though.
yeah. But I mean, am I wrong to say Kizaru's not that situation?
No, yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
I don't think that's the kind of Sentomaru
but
right now is. I think he's just it's the legacy fights, and it's to flesh out a lot of these vice admirals. They've been around this whole
mhm,
basically story. We're finally starting to peer through like the wall, like admirals. We saw the Garp and Aokiji thing. We're watching. Wow, basically it's a legacy run. We're going on the legacy
sure.
run with a lot of these characters. And this
Mhm.
one is Kizaru's and Sentomaru's. And you find that Sentomaru and Kizaru actually have like a relationship like, hey, I'm not your adopted dad, but I'm kind of like you said, like your big brother. Like when we found
Mhm.
you, you were just beating up bears in the forest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which is very much like all the people that we like as children in this story.
yeah.
Like they all like are in the wilderness attacking animals or seeking domain over animals. It's kind of a funny parallel. So I do
But
think he's Sentomaru at least is going to be important later in the story as well. For some reason, I just don't understand.
I think he. I mean, honestly, I think he's going to be the subject of our next cover story. I mean,
That's
you
true.
heard it here. You heard it here first. Like
It, I
that's
guess
where I
at
put
the
all
end
my
of the
money.
day, why can't he just be Lilith's bodyguard? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like Vegapunk
Ooh,
is
shows up.
still
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean? He just has to leave and come back. But
Or
yeah, that is
or
the
finds his way to Witheria somehow, some
yeah.
way.
He's like, I
That'd
know
be
where they're
pretty.
going. Like Vegapunk would not have gone there without telling me. So yeah.
That would be quite interesting. But we got the Kizaru's just just the tip of the spear when it comes to the Marines forces. He can get there much quicker than everyone else. So everyone else is kind of lagging a little bit behind, fighting the sea beasts.
And
But the vice admirals just take care of them pretty easily.
we get
It
five of
seems.
them. We get a dude with red hair and glasses, a dude with longer red hair and
Mm.
like a yellow suit. You get the doll, the new character. We get an older lady, and then we get this guy with a giant sword on his back. He's got like orange and brown hair and stuff like that. So it's like you got five vice admirals here fighting. This is very reminiscent of the revolutionary fighters, right?
Yeah.
Just no title cards.
And I think we've been introduced to them in the manga. I don't remember them. I'll be honest. I mean, they don't. They're vice admirals. Oh, I can find them. But I do like that how they're getting fleshed out because it they didn't really make an impact for me on the manga, but this little intro with them taking down the pacifistas pretty easily kind of gave me like, okay, maybe they got a little bit of weight behind them.
I mean,
Like,
they are vice admirals at the end of the day.
agreed.
Kev's gotta see it to believe it.
Hey,
but
hey.
hey, talking about seeing, I noticed that this is animated by the team that did a lot of Dressrosa. During this Vice Admiral fight, there's a part where a
Mhm.
sea beast lion like comes out of the like water and he's like roaring in the air while he's like, you know how they do that roar in One Piece, like where he's like yelling back and forth and stuff like that. That is very reminiscent to the fight with Doflamingo when he went Gear Fourth. It's
Yep.
reminiscent of Don Jin Jiao when he was attacking. It's reminiscent of Sai when he was doing his kick. Like that. Here, let me try to find this actual time. Like 4:40 in the video. Like this is
Okay.
so reminiscent of like when he first goes Gear Fourth and stuff like that. Like just the way he's moving. I'm like, that's that animation team. That's that same animation team, which is cool. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not. Maybe I'm wrong, but I noticed that.
And I'll talk about it more later on, but this hiatus that they took, like I noticed I can sense the improvements and I noticed the improvements that they've made to the anime and it looks fantastic. Well worth the wait.
Well, yeah. I also think the hiatus was to like build some time in between because they're catching up really quick. But do you notice that there's less like fluff in these episodes? Like it's not panning as much. Like it's
Hmm.
not like sitting on people's like faces and stuff like that. Like, all right, here's their reaction. Like we're kind of moving too.
Yeah, I do feel that, I guess. Maybe I'll have to go back and look to kind of really delve deeper into that though, but like you think like maybe it's just like cutting off where we would normally just sit on a like Luffy's face or something to flesh out an expression or
There's definitely less time. Like One Piece is notorious for that. That's why it's gone so
mm.
long. Is because the pacing. They have clips where it's talking about the Fishman Island, how it was paced before versus like the new remastered pacing. They have one pace, which is a fan edited, just every episode without like all the drags with the reactions and stuff
Oh,
like that.
interesting. I didn't know
Um,
that.
but yeah, I think they are picking up the pace with some of this stuff. And I mean, if this has to go seasonal, I would be very upset. But I mean, I guess not that upset because I
No,
know it
and I
wouldn't be like every like 2 years or 3 years, like it's like One Punch Man or something. Um,
and I bet it would probably be better for the the artists, the actual employees behind the work. So,
It could
I would really,
only be good.
if it benefits them, yeah, exactly. It can only probably be good. And with Oda taking more and more breaks as the manga gets released, we will have more time to take breaks in the future. So maybe that does help. Um, shit, where were we? Were we in the with Saint Saturn and Kizaru standing in the fire? Where
Right
were we?
before that, we get like one of the admirals using a steam knuckle and taking out one of the altered sea beasts. Um, they also take out a couple of the pacifistas with ease. So it's like you're kind of seeing like the discrepancy in power. And
Mhm.
like One Piece doesn't exactly tell you exactly like how strong somebody is. They just give them feats that you got to see how easily or how difficult the feat is. And so you see these vice admirals taking out pacifistas and like sea beasts like by themselves. But again, it's like you have very few vice admirals and you have 100 warships. You can't be
Yeah,
everywhere at once. But yeah, moving on to like Vegapunk's room where everybody's trying to hack.
and the the arm movements on here, I really kind of broke like I stared at those for a little bit because they don't, they're not bad. Like the little things I notice in this, little fingers twitching. Because when I watch an anime like Blue Lock, the physical animation is just terrible. So when it comes to something like this, I can really appreciate it.
Yeah. And in the room with like Vegapunk and stuff like that, I mean, they're basically all just watching Kizaru get his ass whooped. It goes back, not Kizaru, Sentomaru get his ass whooped. And
Mm.
Sentomaru is having a tough time, man. And you get the flashback where he's a kid, and you kind of see how he gets hired and set up with the two of them themselves. But the most notable part about this scene, other than like the crazy animation, is the fact that two things two things stick out. Number one, Kizaru says that his defense is on par with Sentomaru's. He's like, bro, you ain't. I'm just as tough as you. Like
Yeah.
defensively, you're not gonna be able to break my barrier. Um, and the second thing, he gets the pacifista transponder, and he's like, all right, all pacifistas, just take out the sea beasts. Like this, enough is enough. That was incredibly easy for him. All he had to do was fight for 2 minutes, and now he's on his way to the dome. It's like, all right, bro, quick work, quick work.
But and this is kind of what we expect though from an admiral of Kizaru's level. Like this isn't.
Yeah,
I don't know if we've had something like this happen where he's taking it a little bit more seriously. But he, with his power, he's able to just kind of float above and take a really good point of view and take it all in. But then we dive into back to the Vegapunks, and this is probably my favorite scene of the episode. But Lucci just risks it all to go kill Stella Vegapunk,
my
and
girl, she says these
Stussy
things
jumps
like
in the
when she
way.
looks at my dogs, like, why are you walking like some kind of predator? Because one dog will be like looking at the other one, trying to like walk up on it. And that is what Lucci is. You are a
Yeah,
predator, bro. You are waiting for your and you're waiting for your time to strike. Like this whole time. Like Kaku, like he's like, all right, I guess it's a situation. We'll just hang out for now. But like Lucci's like, no, bro. I'm waiting.
yeah.
I gotta respect that.
Hey, no, that's what he's on though, dude. Like he's crazy. But I will give also props to Stussy because if he's waiting their alert to react to that,
She's been waiting this whole
also
time too.
either takes, like you said, anticipation of something like this happening, or
You
just
can
extreme speed, because
Yeah,
that's
I
that's
think
pretty incredible.
it was it. Well, both actually, because like when I was just about to say that, like when you're watching, you can see when she's drinking the tea, like she's facing Lucci, while everything else is going
Mhm.
on. She's just sitting there facing Lucci, and yeah, like everybody, it's a fun thing to talk bad about Sanji, but when that happened, the first person to react tactically to even the
Was
playing field was
was Sanji.
Sanji. He took the
I
bubble
agree.
gun, shot Kaku, is like, you hanging out here for a little bit. And now all of a sudden it's one on a bunch. You know what I mean? Besides two on Kaku and Lucci together in an enclosed room like that, I'm sorry, Vegapunk, you're done. I'm sorry. But just one on one,
Maybe, maybe, but
maybe.
you're also talking about Zoro and Sanji
That's
here as
true,
well.
but Kaku has
Like,
all those aerial blades. Yeah,
fair, fair,
you
fair.
gotta dodge those. Like
I,
maybe Zoro can do that, but it's okay.
yeah,
Maybe Vegapunk, you're not dead instantly.
yeah,
It changes the
agreed.
story.
I just where does who does Lucci think he is though? This little with between me and Kizaru, you're done. Like, no, no. Between Kizaru, we could be done for. You are just here, and Zoro's about to spend the next like 5 episodes barely trying to fight you.
Yeah, I would definitely
But
like a look into the mindset of Lucci. It's like, okay, I get it. You want to do the mission. Your mission.
mm,
You got to get done with the mission. Just give us an inner monologue or something.
yeah, I don't know. Because to me, you sound delusional. You just got your ass whooped multiple times. You had PTSD mid fight, dog. You dreamt of the first time he whooped your ass, and now you're like, nah. But actually, you know what? The third time I'm gonna beat your ass. But instead, Kizaru is, like I said, he's really high up. So he sees
I
what is
actually,
this called?
uh,
Vegapunk One. Oh, go ahead.
uh, yeah, Punk Records. Like I forget what it's called.
Punk
But
Force One
oh
or
oh,
something
you're
like
talking about
that.
the robot. But before
Yeah,
that, at
go ahead.
1543, where he's just like standing there within all the destruction, looking at like the at Punk Records, basically.
Yeah,
Like that is, I wanted to make that the background. That is a crazy image where
that's
you're just
clean.
like, everybody's gone. You're within. This is a big island, and this is a big city.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is a big deal. But I like that image. But yeah, he flies up and then he sees I forget what it's called.
I think it's like Vega Force One or something like that.
I
But
do
and
like.
take and I want to take a moment because later in spoilers for those who are only anime watchers, he's crying during most of this. Like he is not enjoying any of this right now. I don't think Kizaru. Like this all builds up to this man breaking down crying at the end of all of this. So I think knowing that in retrospect is like he's like staring at all of this, like mad at himself that he's doing this, which is
Well, yeah, I mean, right there. Like I said at that 1531, where he's just like
yeah,
looking at like the Punk Records. It's like
exactly.
it's all like grayed out, kind of, because it's
Hmm.
like the destruction and smog and shit. And it's just like, bro, that's a somber picture, and I guess that's supposed to be his feeling. Like he's like, I guess I gotta do this. But
Hmm.
yeah, Frankie and Lilith, 1-2 team. I gotta see more of that. Love that. They work well together. Luffy and Bonnie are eating, just like all the people in the Marines are like, we gotta eat before battle. Like Frankie's like, why y'all eating? Like, don't worry, Frankie, you're not fighting. That's why.
Yeah, Frankie, don't worry. I'm eating because I'm about to go
I'm
fight.
going to
And
be
then
fighting.
and then when I lose the first round, I'm gonna need you to hop in for a bit, okay? 10
Maybe
minutes.
one punch. All right, just need one
All
punch
right?
out of you.
Strong left, remember? That's
Remember,
your
you
only
guys punched
move.
me
Get
and
it?
I
Get
punched
it?
him. Remember.
So
um,
Kizaru comes flying at Vega Force One, and Luffy senses it. I suppose. I mean, I'm assuming here he doesn't just come out of nowhere on here,
well,
but
I think everybody saw him
but
because remember, before Luffy could was reacting, like Frankie was running already. So I think somebody announced like, "Oh, Kizaru's here" or something. They probably had like some sensors or something.
oh, you're right. You're right. He did say
Because Bonnie
Kizaru.
sees him, then Frankie runs up, and then Luffy like swings.
Uh, maybe.
Maybe he was
'Cause
already swinging.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's so hard to tell. Either way, though, I think he would have reacted if he sensed a similar hockey, because he has a promise, dog, and he tells him straight to his face, Kizaru, we are 100 times stronger than we were 2 years ago.
Wait, what's the promise?
Or that wasn't that the promise 2 years ago? Is that we need to get like 100 times stronger?
No, like Kizaru was whipping their ass and was talking down to
Oh,
them. Like, you guys are weak as fuck. You probably need to be like 100 times stronger.
oh, that's what it was. Got it, got it. I forgot.
But yeah, Luffy jumps down. You know exactly what time he's on. He like jumps up, and Kizaru has to block the attack. Like, he can't phase it, he can't dodge it. He has to block it, which says a lot. You know what I mean? And it's an unnamed attack. Which
Unnamed but conquerors hockey filled. So
yeah.
he's. I mean, that red eye glow is pretty dope. But I'm excited for next week, y'all. I'll be honest. We got Kuma and Akainu coming next week, so we all get to start, being really sad Saturday nights, which is great. Because Kuma's backstory makes me want to cry. So here we go. Here we
Yeah.
go, team.
Yeah, if they're gonna do anything, they're gonna make a backstory. But yeah, this should be an exciting season of One Piece. Like, it's weird to call them seasons, because I still treat them like sagas. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
either way, I'm
because they
very
may
excited
take like
that it's
3 months
back.
off, and who
Yeah.
knows? I still counted it, like you said. I'm the same way. Sagas. I think that's a good way to look at it.
I
But
mean, we
excited
have
for the
so
next
much
week.
more that's gonna happen too, and I know that like Lucci and Zoro are just like kind of filling time for both of those characters to be off the board, and that's really why Lucci's here, so that Zoro can be here and fight people who are not new, so you could be like, oh, what's going on? Oh, it's like, here, you're off the board. Lucci Awakenings, cool, you're off the board. Let's watch everybody else do some stuff. But while everybody else is doing some stuff, I want to see that fight. I want to see all the tiger shit. I want to see all the fucking green flames
Yep.
or whatever the hell Zoro be
Yep.
doing nowadays. I want to see that.
And yeah, and I can't wait for something like Sanji to kick off, or shit. When do we pop off to Gear 5? I mean, does he pop into Gear 5 super quick? I'll have to go back and read, because I remember him grabbing Kizaru at one point, but I don't know if that's later on or
I think
like
no,
next episode.
they are, but you gotta imagine how quick they are. I think they do like fight real quickly, but I think Luffy very much understands that he's not gonna be able to beat Kizaru without that form. So I think he does pop
Yeah.
it pretty quick.
Smart
But
man.
it's like, it is anime, so it's like you can't show up Super Saiyan 4. You show up Super Saiyan 2, figure out Super Saiyan 3 don't work, and then go to Super Saiyan 4. Like,
You got to give the people what they want. You can't knock them out in round one. I paid $50 for HBO.
That's
okay?
exactly what
You
Kizaru
go.
said. It wouldn't be that cool if I just jumped all the way over there, bro. You gotta give the people what they want.
That's crazy. But we are, for the manga readers, we are back this week, back in Elbaf. So that's pretty hype. I'm always, dude, we're back in the middle of One Piece. Like episodes, like fire episodes, like
Fire
manga
chapters, fire episode, fire chapter, fire episode. Yeah, theory. Yeah.
But hey, another good episode. So shout out to the animators. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
All right, peace.